We'd like to start the program with O Canada. folks, we're a few minutes late, but after last night, I think we've got all the excuses in the world. We're going to keep this fairly informal this afternoon. The only formal people we think we have up here are a Centennial couple, and they tell us they're going to feel the heat before if we don't keep things moving pretty fast here, so we'll try and keep it fairly short and to the point. First of all, welcome home. The signs put up at both ends of town, I think, have brought many greetings from many people. We hope you all have a good weekend. If today turns out like yesterday and last evening, I don't think we've got anything to worry about. I think if we can't take any credit for anything else, seeing the days like it is, we'll take credit for the weather anyways. I'd like first of all to introduce our Centennial Committee that has been working on this. These are maybe the visible people. Other than this, there's probably been, well, literally hundreds. We haven't got very many hundreds in Cypress, but everybody's done their share and probably more to do it. But first of all, I'd like to introduce our Centennial Committee that has been head of this weekend. First of all, I guess our Centennial couple here is Gordy Adams and Georgette Hughley. Brad Opry, Billion Vanderwall, Kenny Campbell, Robbie Richmond, and Bill Young. I think when I was talking to somebody yesterday, they were talking about, of course, how they got here and when they got here. And it's something I thought I had to mention this morning. We've heard of people, well, it's quite obvious, they came in your campers and your vans and your mobile homes, and I think we had a motorcycle or two arrive on the scene. Prior to that, a lot of people flew into Winnipeg and Brandon. And I think the real pioneer spirit, though, we had one person, I think one, maybe there's others, but we know of one that came by canoe from Brandon. So I think that's worth mentioning. We started this planning, I suppose, in the middle of November, and I think we've had a meeting every Monday night since then pretty well, except for we shut down through seeding time, and the weather cooperated us very well, and we got back at it again in probably record time for this part of the country. The weather has been fairly cooperative with us. At times this spring we had to slow down, I suppose, but once we got things rolling again, we had all the cooperation we needed, and I think we've got a weekend that will be remembered for a long time. I've been thinking about standing up here probably since last December, and thinking I had all kinds of time to get a speech written and the whole bit, but that's probably why I mentioned very informal at the start of this, because as I sat in the tractor this spring and in my truck thinking what I was going to say, I had lots of good ideas, but I never get them down on paper, so you'll have to bear with me, I guess. The one thing that seemed to keep coming back to me when we started talking about this, and when I was thinking of what we could say up here, I think the phrase, and I think it's probably come true, the phrase that I seem to be hearing all the time is "remember when." I think last night at the concert and then at the dance afterwards, I probably heard that phrase more than anything else. And I think, first of all, before we go any further, we'd like to have a minute's silence in observance of those that were with us when we dedicated this Cairn in 1970, plus all the others that aren't with us today. Thank you. Getting back to remembering when, maybe we'll throw a few instances up, and I think it should jog a few memories probably, and you've probably all talked about them already. How about remember the last centennial, 1967 and 1970? Remember being on this very same site in 1970, and probably the crowd was very similar to what it is today. Remember the picnic 50 years ago in Art Mobby's pasture. A lot of us don't, but I think there's a lot of people here that do, and we're at that picnic. When we mentioned that, somebody said, yeah, I see Morley Young waving his hand. He remembers. I heard he won a race that day. I think another thing that when we mentioned that picnic, everybody said, oh yes, and remember the rain we had that night. Apparently it was a real torrential downpour. And talking of rain, remember the floods, 1949 and 1950. I can remember those. They were a pretty awesome sight at that time. We've never had anything like it since, and probably hope we never do in this country. Remember the Moor Block fire. That's a fire I never observed, but I've often heard my parents and that generation talk about it. I think it's something that brings back a lot of memories. Fires have been quite a part of Cypress River. We have had several fires in town. The elevators burning, we've had lots of them for memories. I think on a pleasant note, what about the old school concerts? I think that's probably a memory that a lot of you will probably get this afternoon and tomorrow if you go out to your own local Cairns. While I'm on the topic, if you'll notice, we have some enlargements made of the Cairn sites in the district. We'll put this on display in the picture gallery after for everybody to have a look at. Remember the Oscar's dances. I think a lot of people probably have remembers of the barn dances at Oscar Josephson's. Following that, there was the Gardeners Orchestra's dances. We all remember lots of those good Saturday nights in Cypress River. Cypress was the place to come for a lot of years when we were teenagers. Maybe in the sports vein, remember our high school champion curlers. Probably 3 of them are with us, I think, today. They might be still at the breakfast because I think there's a lot of people still down there, but I think that's a celebration that Cypress remembers for a long time. I also had somebody who say they should remember baseball, particularly, this was probably in Robbie's era. He said if it wasn't for Dunk Sutherland, Fraser Paul pitching, they probably wouldn't have had much of a team in Cypress River. I think there's a lot of memories go back to that. I probably have to relate probably one of my favorite memories in sports, the year we won the high school hockey league in Glenborough. There was a lot of competition between Glenborough and Cypress at that time, and I think it has died down considerably. Now their school children know each other far sooner in life. On that vein, I just have to tell you a little bit about that night. When that game ended and the whistle finally blew, one of my vivid memories was skating as hard as I could towards our goalie, who was Wally Wallace, and I saw him last night. I don't know if he's here, and anticipating getting to our goalie as fast as I could, and when I got there, the first person I met was Archie DeFort, who had beaten everybody that up to their goalie. Another memory I remember from that night was when the celebrating was all done on the ice and we headed to the dressing room. Stan Olsen was there to shake hands with every player. Well, I'm sure everyone has their own memories. I think we're going to try and keep this short. I've probably talked too long now. So I think we'll get on with our program. And we'd like to have some greetings brought to us from various people that we have with us. First, I'd like to call on our Honorable Minister of Culturalism, Mr. Jack Murdoch.
Thank you very much, and good morning. As the chairman said, I suppose the theme should be welcome home. It's really good to be here with you and bring greetings on behalf of other areas of the constituency of Lisgar to the people of Cypress River and the surrounding area. Really, I wanted to mention 3 things just briefly. One, congratulate the town and the surrounding area for what they are at the present time. Organizing this event, very important part of southern Manitoba, and being able to maintain the kind of sense of loyalty and community spirit at this particular time with a town the size of this one and other areas and centers growing all the time. I think it's so important that we stop for a moment and think and reflect upon things as they are now. Secondly, of course, part of the day, part of why we're all here is because we are celebrating a centennial, and just because of that, we're thinking of the people, the pioneers that have brought us to where we are right now. We wouldn't have a town and an area and a sense of pride if we hadn't have had people that were prepared to do a little bit more, to put out a little more and work to make this community and the area a good place in which to go to school, bring up children, farm, have a business, and the other kind of amenities that we see here. And the last thing I think we should take a few moments to think about throughout the today and tomorrow is the future. Because that's just as important as the present and as important as the past. We know where we've gone, we know where we've come from, we know what we are now, and certainly if these young people we see sitting down here and in the crowd are going to maintain the traditions and the direction that we've all set for them, then we're going to have to think about the future. And in that regard, of course, the school aspect of what we're doing here over the next day or so fits in very, very nicely. It's such an important part of everything that we do. It's the glue that holds a community like this together. And I think that everything that has happened in the past and what we're doing now, if we can project that, maintain that, it'll all be worthwhile. If these young people here can, in a number of years, can say that I came from and I now live in or live close to, or I still understand the roots that I had in a community like this, and everything that we've done and our grandparents have done will certainly be worth it. On behalf of the government, on behalf of the constituency, I bring greetings, congratulations, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Murda. Now we'll call on our local MLA, Mrs. Charlotte Olson.
Thank you, Darwin. Platform guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. First of all, I'd just like to thank the Centennial Committee for inviting me to take part in this event today. It is indeed an honor to be asked to speak to you this morning and also to be part of your parade which is held this afternoon. Thank you. I'm not good with these machines. It also is a great pleasure to bring greetings from the constituency of Gladstone, but it's even greater honor for me to bring personal greetings from my husband Stan and myself to the people of Cypress River in their centennial, and to wish you well. To Stan and I, it's like sitting over to see the neighbors when we come to Cypress River. So I'm very happy to be here today. I want to congratulate the Centennial Committee for all the work they have done, and I'm sure they, as Darwin said, hundreds more have done an equal amount of work. But it always falls to the committee to see that everything falls into place. And when I see the program that you have put on as an itinerary for the weekend, I'm sure that there will be very few slack moments, and everyone will find something to do for all ages. It's always a good idea in life to pause and reflect on where we've been. In fact, someone once said that a person who knows no history is like someone who has lost their memory. And I think that, as Darwin has said, there'll be a lot of remembering going on today and talking about the past. And I'm sure that the people who lived before you in Cypress River would be proud to see you today, to see the town that you have built up and the town that you maintain and the town that we know will be here for a long time in the future. So congratulations to Cypress River and the best to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Charlotte. Now go to our real municipalities. As everybody knows, we are kind of in a unique situation in Cypress River. We're bordering on no less than 4 municipalities, the corner being, or one road being right west of us here. First of all, we'd like to call on the Reeve of the municipality of Lorne, Mr. Ciaran.
Thank you, Darwin. He's a little taller than I am. I've got to put it down just a minute. It is with a great deal of pleasure that I bring greetings from the municipality of Lorne. Lorne, as Lorne municipality, is part of the Cypress River district, as Darwin has already mentioned to you. We in Lorne feel quite proud of that corner of Lorne municipality that is within the Cypress River district. And I think I personally want to take a little bit of pride in sort of belonging to Cypress River. I have a soft spot in my heart for Cypress River. It's about, well, it's 20 years ago until about 1971 that I was a crop insurance agent for the Manitoba Crop Insurance Corporation, and Lorne Municipality and Victoria were within my area. I also take some pride in the fact that I did play with a group of your local musicians headed by Archie Richmond, and that was until 2 or 3 years ago. So, as I say, I do take some pride and want to be part of Cypress River. We want to congratulate the Centennial Committee for doing such a fine job. I think especially we want to congratulate Darwin for ordering up such a wonderful, splendid day. It couldn't be better. With that, I think I will take my place and allow the other Reeves in the area to do their part. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Searins. We'll now call on the Reeve of the RM of Argyll, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Chairman Darwin, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It was certainly a pleasure to have an invitation to come here today to the Cypress River Centennial celebrations. You know, a lot of residents, our residents out this direction here, call Cypress River home, and we certainly, our municipal council, always are very interested in what's going on here, and certainly we're all hope that you have a very wonderful centennial celebration. I also want to congratulate the committee for the work that I know they've done, because I've gone through 2 centennial celebrations at home, and it takes an awful lot of people with an awful lot of effort to make one of these things work, and certainly I know that you'll be well satisfied when this weekend is over. I think too that when you, after it's all over and you sit back and you think about what you've done, that you'll just be amazed, that you'll really be proud and remember it for a long time. So with those few words, I'll move aside for someone else. Again, thank you very much for inviting me, and congratulations and best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. We'll now call on the Reeve or the RM of South Cypress, Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, everyone. My pleasure to bring you greetings from the RM of South Cypress. Of course, special congratulations to Darwin to organize an event as large as this one. To organize an event as large as this one, I can believe that they met every week. In fact, I thought it would take twice a week.
But I knew you. I knew it was.
100 years of living progress. I'm sure all you people are justly proud of.
Yeah. Well, that's true. There's some.
In closing, I'd like to give you a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. There is more to life than increasing its speed. Thank you.
Mr. Moore. Now I'd like to call on the RM of the Victoria Municipality, the one that we're all in right now. Mr. Budd.
Thank you, Darwin. I felt a little relieved when Reeve John Moore got up and had a note with him, because I felt I'd be the only one with notes, but I guess experience shows that I need a little note. I wasn't driving the tractor, but I've had time to think about speaking here this morning. So I put down a few of my feelings on paper, and I'd like to share them with you. First, I'd like to say good morning to everybody here and say that I'm honored and delighted to have the privilege to be with you on this beautiful morning. and to bring greetings to you from myself and the Council of the Rural Municipality of Victoria on this, the celebration of the Centennial of Cypress River. I would like to extend a special welcome to all former residents of Cypress River and your friends to the arm of Victoria, and particularly Cypress River. The local committees and volunteers have done a great job in organizing functions that will help make your weekend here a memorable one. And with the Weathermen's cooperation, I sincerely hope everybody, friends, visitors, and citizens enjoy this weekend. Centennial celebrations are a time for renewing old friendships, a time for reminiscing, a time for learning, and a time for Thanksgiving. Many of our visitors have traveled from all parts of Canada and the United States to come home this weekend. Old school chums and neighbors will be traveling around town and the countryside looking for each other and even trying to recognize one another. Also, as you travel around, looking for old homesteads, school sites, churches, and cemeteries, you will find yourselves reminiscing and recalling all the joys and sad times you have shared together. The learning experience in the Centennial celebration mainly affects the younger generation, who will be along with the older people when they are renewing friendships and reminiscing. In day-to-day life, we often find ourselves rather busy, and often stories of days gone by are left untold. It is at a time like a Centennial celebration that, with the young generation joining to celebrate with the older generation, a lot of history will unfold as the reminiscing proceeds. When you remember your forefathers who had the courage to come to a new, unsettled land, you should be thankful to them for developing this rich part of Manitoba so that previous, present, and future generations can enjoy the bounties of this region. In closing, I would like to thank the Centennial Committee for asking me to be part of your ceremony here this morning. I would also like to commend the Centennial Committee and all the different volunteers who have placed up markers and cairns signifying where the history of this region really was. Thank you all once again, and happy Centennial to all of you.
Thanks, Ed. And I'll call on Mr. Charlie Townsend from the Cypress River Town Board.
Thank you, Darwin. I'm like Ed and some of the other fellows, I have to read my speeches. On behalf of our town board of Eddie Berry, Albert DeSmith, and Mrs. Reeve Anderson, it is indeed an honor to be asked to bring you greetings from our town of Cypress River and say a big welcome to everyone. I believe you will agree with me when I say what a terrific job the Homecoming Committee has done to organize this weekend, especially the one in charge of the weather arrangements. As you tour around your old hometown, you will see the people here have been progressive. I know you will find the people here now to be the same hard-working, caring community it was when you lived here, with the town and country folk working together to make things happen. When you think in terms of Centennial, I am a newcomer to Cypress, having moved here 12 years ago this month in 1973, the same year the twister hit Cypress and the area. Since then, we have seen many changes. A lot of new homes, approximately 35 in all. A new rink was built in 1975. When we came here, the rink was behind the old school, which is now the museum. And it was an open air, and I really mean open. The Cypress River Lodge was built about 1977. Also, the paving of all our streets, of which we are quite proud, considering the size of our town, as well as some new sidewalks, a tennis court, and a playground for children. I think one of the next town projects is to put some speed bumps on our good streets. As a town board, our Centennial project was public washroom. With the work of the local tradespeople, it was completed and ready for use in time for our celebration. I would like to give a real big thank you to the Paddock Well Drilling Company of Brandon for their generous offer to dig our well and supply the crib for it free of charge. And of course to the Manitoba Hydro, supplied the electric power, even without limestone. And so with these few comments, I would again like to say on behalf of the town board, welcome to Cypress River. And we hope your stay will be very enjoyable and will bring back many pleasant memories with your friends and relations. Be sure to come back and see us again. Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie. There are a few other people I think we should recognize this morning, and they're sitting out amongst the crowd, I think. We'd like to recognize the councillors from our various wards that neighbour our village of Cypress River. From the Lauren municipality, in our ward, the councillor is Mr. Albert Wood. Is he with us this morning someplace? If he would, stand up. There he is. Thank you. From Argyle municipality, we have Mr. Eddie Anderson. Eddie Anderson. Oh, I'm standing back there a second ago. Eddie Whitting. I knew something would happen before it was done. It was bound to. From South Cyprus, we have her right on our stage, Mrs. Louise Christie. Once again, from the municipality we're in, Victoria, Mr. Bill Thompson. I think we have 3 other introductions we'd like to make, and I think we'll do that at this time. First of all, we would like to introduce the piper that brought us up here this morning. She's probably, I guess we'll claim her anyway. She's a granddaughter of Mrs. Myrtle Scholais. It's Tammy Breland. We also are quite impressed with our Mounties we have here today, and we're certainly going to claim credit to them. We have Sergeant Gordon Gibbs. That means for sure he's from Cyprus. And we also have Constable Jim Pearson. We're very pleased to have them with us. They came a long way to be here for this celebration. We're sure glad they did it. Now I think we'll change the topic a little bit here, and we're going to have one selection by our junior choir from our junior school in town here. Thank you very much. I'm sure that's far more entertaining to listen to us talk up here. Well, we're going to get down to what we're actually here for now. We're going to get down to the dedication. For this, we'll call on our centennial couple to make their way to the Cairn, and we'd like to call on Robbie Richmond, a member of our centennial committee. We had asked him to do this because he is our remaining member of the school board, which is now called the Tiger Hills School Division, and he also was a member of the centennial committee in 1970, so we thought it only appropriate that he do the dedicating of our Cairn.
I would like to thank the Centennial Committee for inviting me to take part in the dedication of the Cairn in memory of Cypress River School District. I sincerely consider it an honor because of the proud history and rich heritage the Cypress River School has given us. It was in 1896, after only 14 years of 1- and 2-room schools, that the school board and community had the foresight to build the large brick school most of us attended. Grade 12 was introduced in the 30s, thanks to great sacrifice by the taxpayers. It was a sacrifice because of the financial difficulties of the 30s and the fact Cypress was a small school district, both in size and assessment. This sacrifice was all the more amazing when you consider no one who wished to attend school at Cypress River was refused. The school board at the time believed, and they were supported by the ratepayers, that while education was expensive, the alternative, ignorance, was completely unaffordable. I found a quotation that exemplifies the standards that these early ratepayers, school board members, and teachers lived by. There is only one reason for living, and that is to give to others, to expend upon others the strength we have in ourselves. Our society's future depends on our maintaining and encouraging that standard. It is impossible to name every teacher who has served this community. It was equally impossible to attempt to record the names of the many students who have carved outstanding careers in many parts of the world in practically every field of art, science, health, entertainment, industry, agriculture, and education. It is impossible as well to name the many young people who served Canada's armed forces, some who gave their lives in 2 world wars. However, I hope I have stirred enough memories to send some names flashing through your minds. This plaque is honoring the memory of those dedicated teachers who had the talent, had such talent and courage. Their students and the school board members of Cypress River School District. It is also honoring the contribution they have made to our nation, province, and community. The inscription on the plaque reads, July 6, 1985. Dedicated to the memory of the Cypress River School District number 342 and to all the rural schools that consolidated with Cypress River in 1958 to become Cypress River Consolidated School District number 2357. This school district was originally known as Somerset School District, was established in 1882 and was located on Section 13, Township 7, Range 13. In 1887, it was moved to the then new town site of Cypress River. In 1971, the Cypress River Consolidated School District became part of the Tiger Hills School Division number 29.
Thank you very much, Robbie. Thanks to our centennial couple for doing our unveiling. We'll now call on Louise Christie to introduce 2 other members of our centennial committee. A job that we haven't lined up with.
Thank you, Chairman Darwin. Good morning, everybody.
you may have to wait a little while for dinner. I think they're still serving pancakes down there. But anyway, it's been a marvelous occasion, and first of all, I would like to thank the Centennial Committee for such a wonderful job that they have done here, and I would like at this time also to thank them for the honor that they have bestowed upon me in asking me to make a sort of reminiscence of the centennial of 1970 and to bring us up to date today. So that 15 years ago, you remember a scene very similar to the one that we have here today, same spot, the same time of day. Many of the participants are the same, and many of the spectators are the same. 15 years ago, that special occasion was the highlight of the celebration of Manitoba's 100th birthday. And this cairn on that day was dedicated to the pioneers of this district. And those same pioneers possessed great strong principles and goals. And the major one of those goals was that their children would have the education that they had been deprived of. So today we are paying tribute to their dedication in providing education for this district. Before the representatives of the various school districts place their mementos in the cairn, it's necessary for us to open the cairn and review that celebration of 15 years ago. Remember the bonfires at the beginning and at the end of 1970? Remember the old-time dance? Remember the beard contest? Some of them are still doing it, too. Remember the carnival? Remember the raft and the trip down the Assiniboine? Remember the senior citizens banquet? The photography contest? And, of course, the one big day in July. You remember that committee of 1970 under the chairmanship of Robbie Richmond? There was Walter Deal, Dave Jones, Warren Sigurdsson, Hubert Robidoux, Joy Peterson, Jim Pearson, and one other who has served double duty by being very active on the committee of 1970 and also on this present homecoming committee of 1985, Ken Campbell. Ken, will you please open the cairn?
Oh, we all run together. Cut her with your dad.
And to bring to this podium the various articles for our viewing, I would like to ask Lillian Vanderwall, Secretary of the Secretary Home and Centennial Committee of 1985. Please, Lillian. To me here to bring to your attention, first of all, is the program of the centennial of 1970. We have here, and it's in very good shape. The printing is just the way it was 15 years ago. And on the back, the hymns that were sung at that particular service. And they were placed in the cairn by my own beloved mother-in-law, Mrs. Christie. The next that I have here is the Manitoba button and the Cypress River button. And they were placed in the cairn by Mrs. Ben Anderson. The next are the stamps of 1970. It's sealed, so I won't open it, but I'm sure that there'll be many centennial stamps in there, and they will be looked at in a few years to come. And those stamps were placed in here by Mr. Gordon Richmond, Sr. We have here the front page of the Cypress River newsletter of July the 10th, 1970. Mr. August Verstraete put that into the cairn. Again, it's sealed, so we won't open it. In this envelope are all of the 1970 coins that were, after all, it's not so long ago. I'm sure some of you have got, if you've got a coin, it is probably older than that. But anyway, the coins were placed here by Mr. Obadiah Shepherd. We have here some samples of grain that were placed in the cairn by Mr. Alberic Scamp. Is Mr. Scamp able to be with us today? He was hoping that he'd be able to come. Anyway, I see Arthur there. Arthur, tell him we remember him. Thank you. Here is a list of the senior citizens that were honored in Cypress River during the year of 1970. These were people who in that year were 90 years of age and over. There was Mrs. Dale, Mr. Gordon Richmond, and Mrs. Phoebe Smith. And then follows a list of those who were 75 to 89. There was about, so I would think about 30 of them. We also have a tape by that Mr. Gordon Richmond placed in the cairn, but we thought maybe shouldn't take it out into the sunlight. But it's a tape of the proceedings of 1970. That and the Manitoba flag. So this is the Centennial Manitoba flag, 1970. We're upside down. Oh boy, Mounties, don't look at the way we're handling this flag. All right, there was our Centennial flag of 1970, and I believe that was placed in the cairn by the Queen at that time, Vivian Harrison. Thank you very much, and now these will be replaced, and now comes the time for the placing of more mementos into the cairn. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Putting the contents back in the cairn, I think we will introduce our next guest. And we have asked Mr. Art Mobby if he would read a short history or give us the reveal the contents of what the people that are going to put into the cairn today. So I'll call on Art.
you, Darwin. These will all be very short, but I'm sure they'll be interesting to each school district. I think I'll begin with the Selton School District. If you can't hear me, you're lucky. The Selton School District. The history of the Selton School District goes back to 1881 when 15 freeholders and householders, township 7, range 12, petitioned the Council of Norfolk for the school district reform, proposed that the whole township and to be called Selton. The school was built at the site of Littleton and remained there until 1885 when Cypress River came into being. It was then decided to move the school to a more central location. However, the night before it was to be moved, it burned down. So a new school was built in 1886 at the present site at the southwest quarter of 25712. This school remained in operation until 1943, when it also burned down. The new school was immediately built and opened on December the 10th, 1943. However, due to declining enrollment in 1948, the school was forced to close, and the remaining pupils were transported by van to Holland and Richmond Hill. In 1956, due to stormy weather and impassable roads, the school was reopened. With Mrs. Walter Young as teacher, it remained open till the end of that term. In 1958, Cypress River went into consolidation and the school area was divided between Cypress and Holland. Now I'm going to ask Mr. Barney Young to come forward, and they are going to enclose in the Cairn photo copy of the minutes of the Council of Norfolk, held at Smart's Landing, August the 30th, 1881, when the petition to form the school district of Selton was received. Go ahead, Barney. That's the minutes of the meeting, council meeting, asking for the formation of the school district. Thank you, Barney. I don't think the Centennial Committee was aware when they asked me to do this job that I wasn't aware of it either, but I got thinking about it after I was asked, and it never really came to mind in the last 2 or 3 days. Some member of my family has been involved in every one of these school districts except Oliver. I thought that was kind of remarkable, but then we're a long-lived family. The next school district I wish to ask is Bruce School District. And we're asking Gwenny Swainson.
Thanks, Ken.
To enclose a picture of the school and a short history of Bruce School District. The Bruce School District, number 368, came into being on June the 17th, 1885. It had 3 sites until it was closed due to consolidation in 1951. First site on the southeast quarter of 16613, across from the present home of Claire Johnson. Second site on the southwest quarter of 11613, where it was moved in 1897. The third site, a new schoolhouse built in 1921 on the northwest quarter of 11613, on the corner 1/2 mile west of the second site. And the enclosure was a picture and a history of the school. Thank you. The next school is Grange School, and we are going to ask Miss Irene Van de Waal to deposit an envelope in the school, and this is what is to be in the envelope. Mrs. Van de Waal? It's a short history of the school, which reads as so. Grange School was situated on the northwest quarter of 10612. The school section was one mile east of there, but as more people were living west of that section, it was built 1 mile west. The first school that was built is still standing on the Ernie DeGraw property in Cypress River. It was replaced with a larger school which closed in 1958 when the district was consolidated with St. Alphonse School and enclosed on the envelope that she deposited is a complete list of the teachers, which I will not read. Thank you. The next school district will be Cypress Valley, and we're going to ask Doug Yo to make the deposit. Cypress Valley School opened August 1885. This building proved to be too small, so it was sold. The new school was built in about 1898. 1909, during the Christmas concert practice, the school burned. Early in 1910, a new building was constructed and is still standing, but closed its doors in June of 1958 when it consolidated. And the deposit was, I'm not sure whether it was the original contract or a photocopy of a teacher's contract, which they received from the former Georgina Moore, and, along with a photocopy of the check of one of her payments. Thank you. Oliver School? I'm going to ask Lyndall Helgamson. Oliver School was built in 1915 on the northeast corner of section 21-613. At one time it had 40 pupils, but by the time it closed in 1949 there were only 7 students. This school district was made up of families of Icelandic background: Helgamsons, Waltersons, Andersons, Johnsons, Nordals, Swainsons, Josephsons, Olivers, Sigersons, and Gunlicksons, with Joneses, Gensels, and Klutschaks thrown in for a good mix. As with so many schools, Oliver was a community center for the district family. And what Lyndall deposited was a short history of Oliver School. Now I think I'll ask Glenn Coe, and the depositors are to be Russell Barker and Alan Davis. And the school district was formed in 1885 and operated up until the time of consolidation. And what they are going to deposit in the Cairn is a copy of the first minutes of the school district and a copy of the dedication program which was held there 3 years ago in 1982 when the Cairn at that site was built. Thank you. Well, I don't get everything thrown away. Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill was an early school district. It was planned to ask John Aubrey to place the deposit in the Cairn, but at the time this program started, John was apparently not available. So we called for a volunteer, and I think we were very fortunate in getting Ted Martin who lived just west of the school, and I think he's maybe the person that has come the farthest to this dedication because he came all the way from the West Coast. He is placing a copy of the minutes of the first meeting of the Richmond Hill School District in the wall. An interesting note of subsequent meetings was the fact that Jacob Deal built and furnished the first school house, supplying all materials for $450. First teacher was Mrs. Carwin, who was hired at a salary of $35 per month. That concludes Richmond Hill. I left Cypress to the last for the simple reason that it's still operating. We're going to ask Myrtle Scholdice to make the deposit. Myrtle Scholdice was a student in the school district. She was a teacher in the school, and she later served as a trustee. She is placing a page from the 1910 school register in the vault. Because of losing most school records in a fire in 1945, we had difficulty finding any earlier documentation. The history of the school district Robbie more or less gave you in his presentation. And that concludes the school, but they've also asked me to carry on for one more item. The Centennial and Homecoming Committee, is placing souvenirs of our Centennial weekend into the vault. I don't know who's doing it. Robbie's doing it. And the souvenirs are, first, one of the buttons, meet me at Cypress River, Centennial button. Second, a sample of the registration button. Third, a spoon, which everybody wanted. Fourth, a pin. Fifth is an invitation to the homecoming. The sixth item was a souvenir program. And the seventh was a copy of Certificate of Appreciation. I think that concludes my part of the program. I'll turn it back over to Darwin. Thank you.
Director, we'd like to now call on Ken Campbell to do his duty again, and we'll lock the Cairn up again. If the community sees fit to have another celebration, I guess we won't be here for another centennial, but hopefully we can do this again before that. Maybe 10 or 15 years from now or something. At that time, possibly it'll be reopened again. Ken is going to close the Cairn for this afternoon. This just about brings our afternoon to or morning, I should say, to a close. We realize it's been a pretty hot morning sitting here. We're glad you stayed with us and bear with us through the afternoon. We hope this adds to your memories. And I think with that, we'll bring the afternoon or the morning to a close. We have a few announcements, and I think all our guests have spoken. Although I think maybe we might have one more guest around. I'm not sure. Is that right? Oh, look at the tennis court. I think we have a new guest came to our centennial. I think he's been down in the souvenir booth, but look at that. We're sure glad you came with us. I hope you stay with us for the parade this afternoon. I think we could all like to see that in the parade. It'd be pretty nice. I think he's starting to steal the show. Just a few notes. Oh! Catastrophe. I think we're going to have to get speed bumps on our tennis court too, Charlie. Just a few notes before you do get away, a few messages. If there's any floats or entries in the parade that haven't registered yet with Don Damon, we would like to have you enter down at the east end of town where the parade is assembling so he can have comments made up for our commentator this afternoon. Do that as soon as possible. We would also like to ask that we could have no parking along the south side of Main Street from the east end up until Ray Deal's garage if possible. We have several older people with us today, and we would like to have some shade for them to get into this afternoon to watch the parade. We're going to have this stage moved from here down to the east side of Martin Anderson's Solo Store, and we're going to have a commentator there with us this afternoon to commentate the parade. So if you'd like to gather anywhere along the south side, there's our commentator right there, Mr. Keith Smith. Glad to see you with us, Keith. If you'd like to find a shady spot down there, bring your lawn chairs and be there for the parade. We hope it's going to be going in an hour and a half or so. I think last count we were up to probably 105 or 110 entries in the parade. Another comment maybe just in closing, the last count that I heard at 5 o'clock last night, we had about 1,800 registered for the weekend, and I'm sure that has grown since then. There is also, if you notice behind you, a man up on top of a van there taking videotapes of the weekend. He spent a pretty hot evening last night up in the balcony of the church, but I'm sure he got some good pictures. He's taken everything here this morning. He's going to take everything of the parade as much as he can down the weekend down at the fairgrounds. He's going to be making videotapes up. If anybody would like to have a videotape you can take home and show on your VCR at home, look up that black van. They've got forms all made up here. I think they're going to be a pretty popular item. Thanks very much for being with us this afternoon. We also have an artillery display in the school. try your best to take it in. It's going to be there till approximately 8 o'clock tonight. We have a picture gallery in the rink, and plan to stay with us for the whole afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, we hope everybody has a good